This is lesson 3.8 in elementary algebra, the substitution method. Now, out of the three different methods we've used to solve these systems of equations, we did one by graphing, 3.7 we did elimination, and this is substitution. This is probably the easiest one, but when it comes to solving these, most people pick elimination just because they remember it better, but this one is pretty simple. If I can get my writing to work this morning. Okay, so what substitution means is we're going to take one equation and put it in for the other. So if you notice, we have y equals 2x minus 1. So if I look at this equation, if I were to put 2x minus 1 in for y, since they're equal, then I've just got one variable. I've got x plus, and I put 2x minus 1 in there for y, and that equals 2. Now I only have one variable. I've got an x that occurs in two places. So I take the parentheses off, add my x's, add 1 here, add 1 here, and that equals 3, and x equals 1. So that was pretty easy to find that. Now I just grab one of these other equations, and I put 1 in, and that tells me that my y, 1 plus y equals 2. I know that 1 plus 1 equals 2, so my y equals 1 as well. So my answer is going to look like that. So this is example number 2. And again, what we're going to do is we are told that y equals 2x minus 8. So whenever I see a y, I'm going to put 2x minus 8 in its place. Now remember, put them in parentheses. Important, because if you don't, you're going to multiply maybe 3 times the 2, but you're going to forget that it's 3 times the whole thing, so you'll forget to distribute times the 8. So this is minus 6x, and then that negative 3 times negative 8 is positive 24. And that equals 12. So let's add those. Subtract 24. Negative 4x equals negative 12. And because they're both negative, we can just change them to positive. And x equals 3. And then we take our 3 back up into one of those other equations. 6 minus 3y equals 12. We subtract 6 from both sides and we get negative 3y equals 6. Then we divide by negative 3. And y equals negative 2. So we get y equals negative 2, and we have x equals 3. So our answer is 3, negative 2. So that is, if we were to graph both of these equations here, that is where both of those lines would cross at the point 3 over down 2. Okay, so that's what you're finding. You're finding out what answer will make both of these equations true. Alright, so let's look at example number 3. Alright, so example 3 looks a little bit more tricky, but it's really not. We just have to do a little more work. Okay, so the problem is we're not told what y equals, nor are we told what x equals. So what we have to do is I normally have students pick the easiest of the two equations. So which one looks simpler? Probably this one. And then I have them find which variable looks like it's the easiest. Like this one does not have a number in front of it, and this one does. So this one looks like it's the simplest. So that's the one that I'm going to isolate, or I'm going to get all by itself on one side of the equal sign. So let's erase that whole thing, and let's just put up the first one for right now. And I'll put the second one, I'll put it down here. And we'll worry about that one later. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this equal to x. It's the easiest one, and there's only one number in front of the x. Well, there's only a 1 in front of the x. So those go away. And there we've got y, or x equals 3y minus 1. So now, whenever I see an x down in the second equation, I'm going to put 3y minus 1 in its place. So then I've got a y here and a y here. I don't have any x's. So I'm going to change that to 2 times 3y minus 1 minus the 3y that I already have. Then I'm going to distribute. Combine like terms, 6y minus 3y. Add 2. 3y equals 6. Divide by 3, and y equals 2. Okay. So I found out that my y equals 2. Now I take this and I plug it in one of these equations here. Doesn't matter, again, which one, that one or that one. Let's plug it in this one. Minus 3 times 2, and that's going to equal 4. So 2x minus 6 equals 4. And my x equals 5. So my answer is 5, 2. So again, that's where those two lines cross. That's what they have in common with each other. And remember to put the x first and the y last. Alright, let's jump to example number 4. There are 6 examples total, so we're getting there. Negative 2x plus 4y equals 14. Alright, now I look and say, alright, which one looks the easiest? In this case, this one down here looks the easiest, and the reason for that is there's no number in front of the y. That's what I'm looking for. If I have one of these letters that is by itself, that is what I'm looking for. That's what I'm going to try to get by itself, because then I can just move this over here, and then my y is by itself. Alright, if there's a number in front of it like here, you can still do it, but it just takes an extra step. So let's go ahead and add 3x to both sides, and I get y equals 6 plus 3x. So there's what my y value equals. So I'm going to take 6 plus 3x, put it in there, and I'll have my equation with just one variable, plus 4 times, again, parentheses, and distribute. Combine like terms, a negative 2x and a positive 12x is 10x. Subtract 24, and I get 10x equals negative 10. And then I'll divide by 10, divide by 10, and my x equals negative 1. Then I take my negative 1, plug it into one of my original ones. Let's take the top one this time. We said that x is negative 1. So I have 2 plus 4y equals 14. Subtract 2, subtract 2. 4y equals 12. Divide by 4. Y equals 3. So x is negative 1. Y is 3. And I'm done. Alright, a couple more examples and then we'll be done, and we'll do that on the next video.